Why does Mitch McConnell pull his foreskin up to the bottom of his chin every day and wear it like a turtleneck? I don't understand that choice. Certainly interesting, but I didn't realize that the foreskin was nature's turtleneck. That's fine. Today we're going to go right down the line here. We're going to do Sabal sands and spectrum on the sound. Let's check Sabal sands. What does it say here we need to do? Black tees. He's got a drivable par 4. He's got a template green. There's a lot of sand going on. He did it in, you do this in tropical or delta? Looks like it was done in tropical, which is a bold choice. Looks like it could be fun. Hang on, let me pull the course itself up. Get logged into the chat here so I can see what you dorks are saying. Always a good idea. Know what dorks are saying. Mostly me, being the dork that I am. While I drink a cup of cold coffee that was hot a few minutes ago, but then I had to deal with geriatric dogs pooping on the floor and things like that. Always a good time. The white tees. Pin 1, let's roll. Sabal Sands by Ryan McConnell. I already like that we've got some Rumpelstiltskin type ground here, little rumples. Rumples are my friend. Rumples are good. Done a pretty good job here with the sand stuff. I think you could pay a little closer attention to some of these knobs that you've left. You've done a pretty good job, but that takes time. Also, we've definitely got some bleeding of textures, you know what I mean? Fairway right into the sand, rough next to the sand. And that's not a big deal. I just like to think about, if somebody's trying to mow this, it's going to get a little silly occasionally. But I like the idea behind it. I will enjoy, dang it. And you can't stop me. Try to stop my enjoyment. Show you. Let's play for the fast, shall we? Oh, and we get perfect. That's okay. The wind will take it over there. Let's see, there are people like,
I see my ball kick backwards and now I'm blind.
That's fine. I like doing that. He's used splines to create these bunkers in order to have them run right down into it. One thing just personal opinion on bunkers that have no rough around them, I almost like to see them flat. You know what I mean? Not all the time. These seem to fit in there pretty nicely. I'm wondering if the bunkers are going to get a little more adventurous in shape as we go. I think that'd be a cool thing to do. So I was just looking here to see, not a big deal, but not everybody rotates well. And I think these are a little rotated. I don't know if these are, but that's okay. There's a trick to doing that. I think more stuff like this can offer some breakup, so I see some of that coming. So that's a good idea. This is a hard look to pull off properly, so kudos for you for taking it on, if nothing else. Let's see. Look at that. 2 perfect in a row, which means I'll be short. Of course, that's what it means. One thing I like that you've done with the fairways is they're very rumpled, but they don't look like they were manufactured to be rumpled. It's very easy for that look to become manufactured looking by using certain brushes. I like that the tee boxes aren't necessarily tee boxes. This is just a personal thing. I think running this up to a tee box is a cool idea, but I don't think we needed to continue fairway all the way down and around here. I think you could have pulled off an even cooler look without that. This bunker needs a little sculpting work, especially up here along the front, but that's a hard thing to pull off, especially when you've tucked it that close. I feel like if you had moved that back from the green a little bit, you could have dumped it down a little harder. Wow. I like the severity in the green. That's cool. I also kind of like this little bowl aspect here. I wasn't sure at first, but I like that. I think there's just a little. We've gone disheveled a little bit beyond. I also think these edges here where you left them bearded, had you taken some of this idea with some of these plants and chucked those just, occasionally in through there, that also would have helped a little bit. I think the grass right in front of the tee here was not a good choice. But again, all views and opinions expressed are simply those of this jackhole. So take them for what they're worth. And they're all meant to be helpful. In no way when I talk about stuff on here am I going,
This is terrible. You suck.
that's never ever the intent. If I think something's terrible and it sucks, I'll PM somebody and be like, hey dude, delete your account. I actually won't say that. Bum-ba-dum-bum. I try to always be constructive. Except on that roasting show. Then it's just, screw you guys. It's cool. It's interesting the way we've layered these to create your own type of tree. I've tried that before. It's a doable thing. I will say my eye when I'm looking at this, it's fine. I'm not judging it anyway. I just since this back tee still anyway, I'm playing master clubs. I can go to the other set of tees and restart it if you want, but I'm not judging it. And if there's a drivable par 4 or something, you just point it out. I'm not too concerned about it. We'll be fine. My eye really wants to have a few of these big trees kind of clumped. Do you know what I mean? Look, as it is, it's like staring at a fence, like fence row, post, 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 post. And I think having a little clumpage would be a good thing. This is a good look off the tee. I like that knob way out to the right over there, way out by the green. That taller dune. I think that's a good use of sculpting there. Get up. There you go. I like the way those bunkers sit in there. I will say too, and it may not have worked well here, but for people bringing beaches and stuff in, I'm not joking. Take these beaches and don't be afraid to bring them into the fairway more to act like bunkers, as opposed to just being a perimeter thing. Well, it's not necessarily something you have to do, but tree stacking, as you want to call it, I think it just adds a little, I don't know, it's just kind of a breakup with your eyes. Forming lines of trees is never really a great idea unless, that's specifically what you're going for. But I think here it was trying to be a breakup, and really to break up the line of sight, you're better off using clumps. I enjoy these greens. These are making me happy. Good job on the greens so far. I can't play them, but I like that they have some shimmy and shake to them. Yes, dear. No, it's not. When it's time to go, I'll tell you, but I told you I was going to do this first. So let me do this, and you go downstairs, please. Or in your room and play, okay? As soon as I'm done, you and I will go, okay? Are you going to bring somebody? Oh, you're going to bring a stuffy? Okay. Sorry, I'm talking to my daughter for a second. Okay. Do it. She has to be beautiful. That's prerequisite. Can't go to the store with me. I don't know what you're talking about. Hang on a second, guys. Oh, my children have a little radar. And whenever I'm trying to do something, it just goes up. Quick, go get Dad. Play Baby Shark for him. I like this tee shot. This is a good looking tee shot. Again, I think some of these areas, there are a few other things you could have done to pop it up a little bit. I also would like to see, personally, it's rumpled, but I feel like it would stay there and then it would kind of drop down pretty hard. You know what I mean? Like a flatter area right around the outside. I don't know. Again, just for visual differences. Sure, this is one of your drivables here, which is cool. Let's get on it. I ain't gonna make it, is it? Nope. That's okay. It would have had it been straight. Daily Reeb streams. You know what? I got an email about being an affiliate, so maybe we'll have more Daily Reeb streams. But only for dollars. All the dollars. Get in the hole. Oh, you putz.
You piece of whatever it is.
Thanks, Bean. Oh yeah, the wild greens are so far my favorite part of the whole deal here. See, and this is hard to do. Pulling off a course like this in lighting from behind is difficult. Again, I think I mean, I know you're trying to run all the fairway together, but I think you could have done with just ditching this and making like a walkway or something. It would have just been a little visual difference. I think some of the flowers here, this area is good, but at the same time, I think, again, people don't always plant the way you're going to see in nature sometimes, and some of these things are going to grow in clumps. So it's a good idea to do that occasionally. This is all kind of spread out, you know. It's like, okay, let's pepper plants through here evenly. And it ends up looking somewhat manufactured. Yeah, this is not going to be enough either, but whatever. Oh, that actually might be pretty good. Get over the knob. Oh, you rolled the wrong way. Well, they get away from a lot of people, kind of like that putt did. That's why I say, you know, you got to kind of do it in clumps, and, you know, it's really easy to say, well, you know, I need some more over here. Well, I don't have any over here. I need to put some over there. You really don't. I mean, let one area just be green. If you want to break things up, do some of those bushes and then take some of those pink flowers and plant them, you know, in the bushes, make them look flowering. I like how wide this looks from the tee. I wish that it had maintained some of that width and used more sculpting to move the ball around. Do you know what I mean? Like right here, this is really cool. I'm just thinking, what happens if you extend that fairway and have it move even more from left to right? And then that's going to put you in a bad angle. Just different things like that. It's a good hole. I think you just could have left some of the width and taken more sculpting chances. I know that sounds weird to say, as bumpy as it is, but when I say sculpting, I'm not just talking about bumping. I'm talking about, actual camber and movement. This is probably too much, but I think I'd rather be a little long. Well, the fast didn't help me. Get up there. I'm not sure. This is going to be a really odd critique, but I'm not sure I like the flag choice. That black and white check with the sand the way it is. Not sure. Does it matter? No. This is a good look off the tee. It certainly looks different than the other holes so far, but you've taken that camber that I was talking about on the last one and really gone to town with it. So this hole is much narrower than it appears. Now, with that being said, it's a par 5. I think having an area short, like right back here, that was a little flatter, might have been a helpful choice. You know what I mean? Give people, slightly over here to the left and short, making it a little flatter, would have been a good choice to give people an option to say, okay, well, I'm going to play this as a 3-shot and go to the flat area. I told you it was a picky thing. I just was looking at that flag going, that's annoying. Sorry, hit my microphone with a coffee there. Now, if this was a medium length par 4, go ahead and have this whole thing, because it's plenty wide. I'm just saying, as a par 5, having a short layup flat area would have been cool. This is well done. This gives you plenty of room here. If you want to go safe, you certainly can. So that's well done. Let's see how far we can get. That could be pretty good. Let's see. There's no points deducted, you tool bag. I'm not awarding any points. I can't deduct points if I'm not giving any away. Yeah, they've got these special mowers. They all have Caterpillar tracks. They don't use wheels. Oh, look at that. How is that ball not in the hole? Explain this. HB, HB, HB. You say this on every course. Well, he is Jeremy Corbin. Shh, you're not supposed to say those things out loud. Shut up. This is where the buried treasure is buried. See the X there? So dig right there and you'll find it. So I'm staring at this because I'm just thinking through the strategy on this hole. Because you want to be to the left. You've left it open to the right. I got to tell you, I feel like stymieing with trees is one of the worst things imaginable. I'm sure it'll be fine when I play it. But I'll tell you what, just to be contrarian, I'm going to play to the safe side here. And I want to see what we get. This is true. Oh, wow, the safe side goes into the sand. I'm cool like that. I thought for sure I was safe there. Oh, well. Now, I will tell you, if this is the prevailing wind, which I still wish you could set, Anch Bay, and that would be a cool deal. Hey, right in the bunker. Perfect. Oh, that's okay. I'm all right loving and hating. See, I think this hole would have had enough difficulty had you taken two of those three trees away and just left one. And I think it would have maintained the same playability and been a little cleaner look. Lots of open to close, close to open. Yeah, tree styming I don't care for. 90-degree dog legs don't bother me as much as they do some. But closed to open and open to closed, I think, is something that's underutilized because it's a very easy way to gain some visual pop without really having to do a whole lot of work. You know, for the length of this hole, I think one bunker would have been enough. Probably the left one and leave this right one out. But it's fine either way. Just I don't know that we needed a whole lot of extra added to this hole with the camber and the roll the way it is. Hello, sire. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me the violin guy would do that kind of a look. He seems to have a good grasp on that kind of thing. Ooh, this could be good. Or it could be really, really short. I'm just going to stop saying that any of my shots are going to be good until one of them actually is. Nope, still waiting. Here it comes. Come on, back to daddy. Good boy. Who's a dumbass? Who's a good little dumbass? Oh, it's not a big deal. If it's done well, 90 degrees can be okay, especially because if they're designed for you to cut the corner, then I don't have as big a problem. Now see here, you took the fairway away, and I think that's helpful. You used bridges. That's not an idea I would have thought of here, is to go with the bridge route. But it is kind of cool. And it's not distracting. Like, you didn't make the bridge the main focal point of the hole. And I think that's cool. Had you, it would have been a different story. See here, we're getting a little, not necessarily symmetrical, but just a little, almost feels lazy right around the edge. And please, I'm not saying you're lazy. It just feels a little lazy around the edge. Like you could have done something here, a few rocks, or made this water a little shallower and put some plants in it or something. I don't know. You know, that wind hurt me a lot more than I thought on the last one. Let's just go with this and see what it does. Roll off. Oh, hey, look at that. I think these bunkers could have been a little deeper, had a little more oomph to them. Well, that's not going to move at all. What do you know? Hopefully that didn't hurt anybody's ears. Yeah, I mean, if you want to use a bridge as a focal point, you sure can. Um, yeah, look here. I think this is maybe a little much. Like, I think you could have accomplished the same thing by either, you know, what would have been cool here is to let this little cove cut right in here. I would have liked that. That would have been pretty cool. This area over here, though, this is pretty sweet. I like this. That's cool. That's a good look. As short as it is, though, I mean, target golf is one thing, but I think this might be a step beyond target golf. Like, you know, if somebody's going to play a 4-iron off the tee, they shouldn't have to hit that difficult of a shot. I like the view from the tee. I think it's great. And like I said, that area up around the green, I like quite a lot. Very cool. I would have liked to have taken this. I didn't say it was hard. I just said it should be a simpler tee shot. Just because I think the hole would play the same way, but would just be a better golf hole. I would have liked to have taken this hole and done some fun things to it. It's all totally fine. You go ahead and love your eye candy. I like eye candy as much as anybody, but, and I'm not talking about this course, but not at the expense of the golf course. To me, if you make a great golf course and then add a bunch of eye candy, you're my hero. But if you have a bunch of eye candy and the golf is kind of meh, well, then step up your game. No, thank you. No, you don't. Hang on a second. Dun, 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 dun. Which course are we talking about? Oh, you guys can think what you want about that. I am entitled to my opinions, and if you want to talk about some of the technical stuff, I'm not going to get into a previous playthrough on a new one. Cinder and I actually talked about that, and it was very cool. He was cool, and I was cool, and everything was fine. So I stand by everything I said. Especially when we talk about, you know, if something's a design contest, then certain things need to just be right. And those are some of the things that I pointed out. So that's totally fine. I mean, the course was a fantasy course, and it was fine for what it was. Like I said, it's gonna be a lot of fun for people, especially in multiplayer settings. I think the course will lend itself to that very nicely. I like this hole. See, this one, it did exactly what I said before. Like, I didn't want to get up in the narrow section too much, so I clubbed down. I still kind of made it up there, but just based on the roll. The camber of the fairway was good. This second shot is really nice. I like it. I will still say, I think in these areas here, they're rumpled, but I think you could have done more intentional. Like, see how this area is a little bumped up? I think more of that could have been done, you know, in certain spots to really allow it to play even more. Like, do you see how the shadows really make things stand out? on this hole. That could have been done on some other holes, I think, even more than what it was. Oh, slow. That's going to be fun. Yeah, it worked out. What do you know? Not all of them. I mean, you don't have to raise all of them up, but some of them, I think, if you do it pretty drastically, do you know what I mean? Like, let some of them sit down. That's fine. I'm going to pay attention to putting at some point today. But taking a few, especially a few of the larger ones or something, and really making them stand up tall to play with the shadows and that would have been pretty cool. Like here, along this front edge of the tee box, like imagine these sand areas dropping down really hard off of this fairway, like just almost straight down, and then having a few of these, you know, raised would have been pretty cool. I like what you've done with the planting up here. It's nice and thick. It's just a big mess, and I tell you what, the contrast between the openness around it is really good. This is a good looking hole. I also like the fact that we've got a cross fairway here, more of a cape style, and I'm a fan of that. So good work on this hole. I like it. Well, that's fine. I mean, they worked out fine. You don't have to do a bunch. I was just saying, you know, there are some things that could have been done to make it better. When I talk about things, I'm not saying that things are, and I know you're not saying this, but I'm not saying that things are bad. I'm just trying to point out ways that they could have potentially been even better. Hmm. I like that hole. Now this is a short hole, and this is pretty open. I guess this is wide enough. I think visually you could have made this even, and this is just me again. So if you don't agree, this is totally fine. But imagine this part of the fairway wrapping clear over here a little bit, so that you have kind of a layered effect. You know what I mean? It goes tee, then sand, then fairway, then sand, then water. I don't know. I think that would have been cool too. All right, how much can we handle with this wind? About that much. What do you know?
Precisely that minis.
This green is Amish. Big neck beard going on here. Please work. And you didn't. It's good to know that a 10-mile-an-hour wind uphill affects the length of your flop shots 0. That's a good thing to know. HB.
Barbara, they've done it again.
Oi!
I love you, G-Dog. You're my favorite friend.
Ooh! Ooh! Ryan, you're getting nasty now. Look at this. You getting nasty. Oh, that fast is going to come back to bite me directly in the behind. Or not. Maybe it'll be perfect and be wonderful, and I'll just go, hooray! Actually, those impressions, I have struggled doing a G dog in the correct register. His is lower than what I just did, but it's not that much lower. It's not like, hi, my name's Jeff. I actually one of the mods I worked on for somebody once back in on Fallout. There's a guy standing in the bar, and he's talking to the character about following the money, and I had a terrible cold, so it sounds like that guy has the lowest voice in the history of all voices. And he's like, "Follow the money." But it's all nasal. It was good. That was New Vegas Bounties. And if anybody still has Fallout New Vegas Bounties 1 and 2 were very, very good, as was The Inheritance and a couple others. Ooh, now we get to one of my favorite things to talk about, which are split fairways. This is exciting because this is an interesting thing because it honestly would play fine from up here or down here as a golf hole, no problem. I'm just super duper curious. I mean, as a designer, as a course, architect, would you come here and go, "Oh, look, here's a golf hole. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's totally leave the center just as a bunch of crap." Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it'll play fine. I'm just wondering about the thought process there. Or was it, hey, I really want to do it. See, this is what it looks like to me. And Ryan, I'm not saying that this is good or bad. It's fine. It's going to play fine. The hole will be fine. But at what point is it, look, it looks like a split fairway would fit here? Or is it, I really want to do a split fairway. I think I'll put it here. Do you get the difference? One is, oh, the land suggests a split fairway, and the other is, I'm going to put a split fairway in this land. And I guess that's always my question is, if the land is telling me a split fairway here would be good, great. And granted, we make our own land, but if it's just I want to build a split fairway and I'm going to do it here, that's a totally different thing. Wow, how did I get a slow out of there? Well, I will just play this hole exactly the opposite of the way it should be played. Ooh, I like this. How far is this gonna? I have no idea. I'm just gonna hit it. I will take that. That will be fine. Oh, did you see that? That went left right off the putter face and then it stayed there. That was not what I expected there. Yeah, well. And Doom would have been fine too. I'll take Doom. Ending on a par 3. Now this is going to sound completely, yeah, no, like I said, totally fine. I wasn't specifically talking about your hole. It was just a general observation of split fairways being forced into places sometimes. I think more people should think of this look too when going around certain things. I did it a little bit on Silver City, which was fun. I'm going to sound totally counterintuitive here. I know how I said that I liked the way the bridge was not part of the ambiance of that one hole. I have a feeling on this hole, I feel the exact opposite. I feel like this tee needed to be about this high because the bridge and the planting and stuff together does need to be shown off on this one. Simply because it's hidden down in there. It's a little understated, but it's done so nicely. I mean, imagine coming down through here, trying to hit your playing partner in the face with this branch. It's hard to drive this camera. And then falling and crashing into the green. Anyway, I would have liked to see that. I like your clubhouse there, the modern look. It's a good look. Very cool. I don't point out a lot of clubhouses, but that's kind of a fun look there. I think this wind is going to make me an angry person. Well, I hit everything perfectly, so let's see. Wow. It actually turned out okay. What do you know? It's a good course. I think my favorite hole is that one, that cape style that went along the water with all the trees behind it that kind of set it off. I thought that was really, really well done. Some really good ideas here. I'm glad that you thought outside the box a little bit and decided to do something different. More people need to do that. Some of the bunkers could have been a little stronger, just a little more depth to them, a little more movement, along with some of those waste areas. But you went for a look, and I think you pulled it off quite nicely. I enjoy this one. I will come back and play this one again, which, you know, I wouldn't do with every course that I play, simply because I don't know. I tend to play the same courses a lot just because I like the way they play and they give you different options. And this one kind of does. I'd want to try it from the forward tees. I want to see how that plays. This is going to sound silly, but I even think with forward tees, I'm wondering, well, maybe they're not quite forward enough. I'd almost like to play this on beginners sometime. Even though it's got a lot of slopes, I think it'd be a lot of fun for one of those tournaments. All right, I'm going to jump off, do one more, and that one is going to be Spectrum on the Sound, and we'll see how that goes. Be right back.